Hey everybody, so this is a new start into a new chapter, a new build. This is something I did when I was a teenager, quite a while ago. Probably was the last model I actually built until, just recently, getting back into it. So this has been sitting in a box for 20, 30 years or so. I decided it don't need to sit in there anymore. It has aged pretty well, or not pretty well, I should say. Some of the bare metal is going off. I probably could wash the color. It was a nice smooth paint job, especially for the age. But the decals are kind of cracked in some of the spots. And there's a chip in the paint there. And there's a chip there, probably something that sat up against and it rubbed up against something there. The chrome's coming off. I actually lettered these tires back in the day. It wasn't a bad build for my age, but now all I am is going to do is actually just have this sitting out. You can see there's no detail in the grill or the front. Missing a couple headlights. Maybe I can find some in my stash. So you can tell I also didn't really have a lot of stuff glued. I have a little bit of old glue there. I'll have to try to get that to come off. Bottom was one color, base black. The wheels, luckily I didn't glue those. Those are all popping right off, except for this one. But that one ain't glued, luckily. And the bottom was not painted too well. I probably got in a hurry to get it done. But it's only 3 colors, this whole kit. Black, orange, and a creamy interior. So I have to see if I got some valve covers, because they ain't in here. I have to see if they're in the box. There's the rear bumper. Interior, all one color. Seat, same color. Little dirty, but not too bad. Luckily, windshield popped right out. Looks like the paint actually is what was bonded to the glue, so it didn't ruin the roof or nothing. So that's fine. So this, I'll probably give it a good cleaning. See if there's any scratches. Don't look like it's scratched up too bad, it's just dirty. And then I will take some Novus. One of the Novuses, Novus 2 probably to it. Clean it up. So I'm not going to just build this back into a normal 70s Challenger. I want to make this wild. I want to do something that I always wanted to do and never really did it. Something I actually liked when I was a child, and I always thought the cars were cool, and I want to push my limits. If I'm going to redo something, I'm going to go all out. And one thing is the Purple Pond's going to take some time with this, so I'm going to actually modify the body, and I'm going to kind of try to go all out. Now, a lot of you guys know that I've been messing around with making molds and casting resin and all that. Well, one of the 2-part epoxies I got was actually a rubber. It's a 2-part rubber. I made this mold off of the Jeep tires, the Wrangler Rubicon. So these are a cast of that. This was the first attempt. I do have dye to make them black, but it actually worked really well. They're flexible. I actually might have to remake this mold because of here it's split, and also when I tried to do 2 other ones it just leaked all over the place. So This is the only one I've actually had out of 3 that came out somewhat decent. But this is, I think, the tire I'm going to try to do. So it's going to be jacked up a little bit unless I do some modifying and have it like something like that, which I think will be pretty cool. Another thing that I want to do is cut these fenders off and bring them out some. Widen up the whole stance. Take the back off, and so I'll probably cut it right in here somewhere, leaving this all alone. Bring it flat out, try to match that, and then have that step in so the doors are narrower. So everything in here just popped right off. The glue was thin enough where it didn't stick. But everything on here, I did say I was going to wait till I got the purple pond going. Let's see if some of this stuff loosens up at all. I'll just dip this on the pins. Well, that broke completely where I didn't want it to. Yeah, we'll make it work. We'll just keep that there. And when we do the final gluing, I just glue that right into place. So, you can see these axle, at least that one wasn't really assembled very well. This is back in the day of the tube glue. That stuff never really worked well, at least in my opinion. So that actually came out intact. So right here there's actually the tube glue. Okay, that goes in the stack, ready to go. Okay. One trick you can always do is get your part wet, like get this whole thing wet, put it in a bag, and put it in a freezer. And what that does is the water will actually get down into the areas where the glue is, expand, and pop that seam out. But with this build, that ain't gonna matter a whole lot. Because I'm gonna do a lot of custom work. Like this suspension, the rear end I'm going to keep, but these leaf springs are probably, we're not going to be saved anyhow. Because I'm probably going to end up making my own leaf springs. That side did break a little bit. Yeah. So like I said, I'm going to probably end up making new leaf springs. I'm going to keep these just for, just for reference. I'll probably end up keeping that hub, not the hub, but that mounting bracket right there. And using that somehow, because I am going to put them bigger tires on there. So this thing's going to have to be like that. And actually going to have to probably be stretched out some. So looks like everything is separated. The motor, I'm going to just, let's see if anything pops off easily. Okay, that popped off nice. That one broke that one, but the other one's there. Plus I really don't need it. So there's that. Okay, that does not want to come off. I'll leave the rest on there. I can paint the rest silver. And do some detail painting here and there without destroying it. So I got me a set of these little saws. They come on like a thicker photo etch, but they're etched, so you got all different kinds of sizes, shapes. So I get the short one, and then there's a longer one like that. I'm going to use these to actually cut out these the fenders, the trunks, and all that. It does take a little bit of time, but I do like these the best. So I decided I'm going to go right in the corner right here. I'm going to go right there. So now I got the doors like going around with the all different blades. I actually have to use almost all of them to cut that out, but I got that cut. So now I'm gonna have to debate on how I'm gonna bring this fender out, because I want to have the fenders out enough where the tire still fits underneath and it looks like it actually can, you know, have some movement in there. I do not want it to be one of those ones where the tires are way up here and then the guys cut the fender way out. I mean, I could do it like that, but then you don't have no ground clearance. So I want it to have it be in there. I want it to be, you know, a little lifted. And so, for example, here's the front. The fenders are cut off. So before, jeez, I can't get a hold of it. The fender would have been like that, and you could see it squeezed in there. You know, it's. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have it like that. I'm gonna add about that much to the hood. So I'm gonna glue a filler piece underneath, you know, attaching both these together, and then I'm going to glue on top of that styrene to match this. I'll probably have to do some filler in here and a hell of a lot of sanding, but that's the goal. So it'd be something like that, you know. And that'd probably be like a scale 6 inches. So then when you go to the body, it's going to be like that. And then I'll have like some kind of a vent inside of here. And I'm probably going to try to match that on the back. So it's really going to be a much wider suspension. So that way you have your pivot. And I'm going to make it so it looks like you can actually do all that inside of here without any clearance on this. Or without any rubbing. And I do not want to get rid of the fender. I don't want to flare the fender or nothing. I think that would make it look really cool. I'll do something like that, you know, so that way you actually see in the wheel well. It will be lifted, but then you can have, you know, I want to make it look like it's actually a working car. So it'd be something like that. And I think that adding these vents to it, jeez, just can't hold on to it. Having the vents like this, big meaty vents, would be really cool. So I'm thinking it'd be something like about that high. So I'm gonna grab the tire. So the back, it'd be probably about that high. So this guy's bent over. So the bottom of the car will be over his knees. So kind of like, I guess that would be like a 10-inch lift on a truck, on a standard truck. But then have that wheel so that way it looks like it can just go like this. Now, there's a lot of guys on the internet that have done a lot of cool cars like this. And some of them have, you know, have a couple spares in the back. So what I was thinking was doing maybe a spare, then a spare, and then having the fuel cell in the middle. Because if you do two on the side and a fuel cell, it's always going to be, you know, your car's weight's going to be like that. So you have a balanced load. But then I was also thinking of, you know, having the one like this, but then it's like, where would I put the fuel cell? There is so many options on this right now. And I mean, I've never done this to a kit. I've never really built a kit out of box stock. I mean, other ones. I mean, the closest one out of box stock was the Mustang, but the actual car itself was pretty much a box stock build, besides the colors and all the added parts I did to it. But I didn't really modify it like this one. I'm really hacking the hell out of it to say. I'm going to keep the trunk like this. I don't know, you know, I want to make it so if I change my mind, like if I want to put the lid on here and put that on the back, do it like that, and then have it so it opens up, and then the fuel cell in. I mean, there's 20 options on just the back side that I'm going to have to try to figure out. I also seen some of these guys, you know, you have the trunk normal, and then they have the spare tire on the back. So many options. But that's the fun of this part, is just being able to create it, getting the juices going, you know, the creative juices, and just letting the imagination go wild, kind of being a kid again, you know. I still have to purple pond this, but I got so into modifying the body that I haven't got to that. But the other parts at purple pond, if they've been in it for 24 hours, the orange is coming off really good. So I don't think I'll have to scrub so much. Now the black pieces, that paint must have been really good paint that I used. It's not even budging yet. So I have a feeling that that's going to slow me down on the build. And so if that happens, I probably will do this as a multiple part video. I still don't know. I'll probably end up just chopping this out if I do a one part, but we'll see. But this is a lot of fun. Right now I'm debating on cutting right there. The only problem is the window. But if I bring that out, I'm going to have to bring that in, and it'll be like a shelf. But that won't be too bad to build that out, build it to the window, and then match all this up. So it's really weak now, and to build all these extra pieces, I am going to have the chassis in place, so that way I can set it on the chassis, tape these pieces down, move these pieces around, you know, move the fender in and out, and then I can, you know, have some kind of jig holding the pieces together, and then I can build all the extra pieces. So I can see this project probably lasting a couple months easily. So there's where I'm at now. So here I got the fenders flared out. So I cut that line right where the door was. And how I got this to bend, I scored a line underneath from that corner, enough where I didn't go all the way through, but enough where I can bend it. You gotta be super careful bending that, because if you bend too far, it's gonna snap. So I'm gonna have to be extra careful when I'm stripping this paint, because once I get the paint stripped on here, I'll glue a piece of styrene, a strip that's, you know, about that much wider, and that seam, so that way I can glue the fender and that all in one piece, and that'll bond that, it'll seal that seam, make it strong again. And then I'll probably glue that, put a little piece right there in the top corner, gluing those together, ridging that up, and so then you would have your vent like that, and then I'm going to have a flat piece like that, you know, with that edge like that, and then I might cut it in an angle and come back out, so he'll hold this fender, the door, and that all together and give it a cool look. So there's that. And if I mock up the tire, it'll be something like that, so that way, you know, you would have that movement. I might have to do some inner wheel well detailing, but I will not know until I get the rest of the parts cleaned up. So until the purple pond does its magic, this will be the end of this. So that this video comes out. Hope you guys have a great one. And please let me know what you guys think so far. The wild ride, the rebuild. It's not really restoration anymore. It's completely redone. But let me know what you guys think. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great one. Bye.